Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a golden chapter of automotive history, the 1960s, a decade that produced some of the most elegant, expressive, and iconic cars ever built. It was a time when style met innovation, when big engines and bold ideas defined what it meant to drive. The chrome shined brighter, the engines rumbled deeper, and every car maker, from Ford to Cadillac, seemed to be competing not just for power, but for personality. In this video, we'll explore 10 stunning classics, all from the 1960s and all still available today for under $20,000. But this isn't just a list. We'll dive into their stories, the engineering behind them, and the lessons they offer to classic car enthusiasts today. So buckle up and let's take a nostalgic ride through the machines that built an era. 1. 1963 Ford Thunderbird LX Coupe, $10,000. The 1963 Ford Thunderbird represents a time when American luxury met innovation. Powered by the 390 cubic inch FEV8, the Thunderbird wasn't about raw performance. It was about effortless motion and elegance. This model was known as a personal luxury coupe, made for people who wanted the sophistication of a Lincoln with the soul of a Ford. Its interior looked like an airplane cockpit. Deep seats, wraparound controls, and that signature swing-away steering wheel. Compared to the Buick Riviera of the same era, the Thunderbird felt sportier, lower to the ground, and a little more futuristic. Maintaining one today means keeping an eye on carburation, ignition timing, and regular oil changes, small things that keep this old bird flying smoothly. 2. 1965 Chevrolet Impala, $17,500. Few cars represent 1960s America better than the Chevrolet Impala. This particular model has had serious restoration work done, new brakes, suspension, and a refreshed 350 V8. The Impala was huge, stylish, and designed for the open road. Back in the day, families would pack up for long summer trips in cars just like this, big, soft riding, and built to last. If you compare it to its rival, the Ford Galaxy, the Impala was slightly more flamboyant, flashier chrome, and more aggressive curves. Tip for owners, inspect the body mounts and rear suspension bushings. They often deteriorate with age, but they're simple fixes that drastically improve handling. 3. 1968 Chevrolet Chevelle, $18,500. The 1968 Chevelle was where Chevrolet leaned hard into muscle car territory. This one runs a 402 engine that's been bored .30 over. That means more displacement, more compression, and a deeper growl. What makes the Chevelle special is its balance. Not too large, not too light, but perfectly proportioned for power. The updated suspension and new steering components make this one a dream for weekend drives. When it first came out, a Chevelle SS could take on Mustangs and GTOs at the drag strip and win. Restoring one today is more than mechanical, it's emotional. Every dent tells a story of a time when Detroit ruled the world. Just remember, keep the cooling system healthy. A strong radiator and clean coolant lines are vital for these high-torque engines.
4. 1969 Chevrolet Impala, $10,500. By 1969, the Impala had evolved into a true American cruiser, smoother, quieter, and more refined. This one packs a 350 automatic setup and roughly 79,000 miles, perfect for leisurely drives and Sunday meets. The late 60s Impalas featured improved ride isolation and more comfortable interiors, with flowing dashboards and wide bench seats. Gold was a popular color that year, a subtle reminder of the optimism of the era. If the 65 Impala was about youth and energy, the 69 model was about maturity and confidence, the kind of car you take cross-country with pride. 5. 1966 Oldsmobile Tornado, $10,850. This next one broke every rule. The 1966 Oldsmobile Tornado was one of the first front-wheel drive American cars since the 1930s. Under its long hood lived a 425 cubic inch V8 sending all its power to the front, a daring experiment that actually worked. With hidden headlights, a sleek roofline, and muscular stance, the Tornado looked like something from the future. It even won Motor Trend's Car of the Year for 1966. Mechanically, it's a marvel. Just make sure to maintain the front transaxle and check for oil seals. They tend to dry out over time. Driving one feels like gliding. Massive torque, but surprisingly composed handling. 6. 1963 Ford Thunderbird Coupe, turquoise, $12,000. Our second Thunderbird shows a different personality. Turquoise paint, white interior, and some custom flair. This one adds modern touches like halo headlights and larger 20-inch wheels, giving it a fresh street presence without losing its vintage soul. Purists may debate the modifications, but that's the beauty of classics. They evolve with their owners. Mechanically, it's the same reliable 6.4-liter V8 setup as before, with plenty of torque for daily cruising. Compared to the earlier example, this one celebrates creativity, proof that restoring classics isn't about perfection, it's about personality. 7. 1967 Triumph Spitfire Mark II, $16,990. Let's hop across the Atlantic to the 1967 Triumph Spitfire Mark II, a lightweight British sports car that emphasized connection over horsepower. It ran on a small but lively 4-cylinder engine with dual carburetors, delivering crisp throttle response and a sound that makes you smile. At under 1,700 pounds, the Spitfire was all about balance. Every turn feels alive, every rev meaningful. Compared to an American coupe, it's tiny, but its character fills the whole road. Maintenance is simple. Keep the carburetors balanced, the kingpins greased, and oil pressure steady. Do that, and this car will reward you for decades.
8. 1961 Cadillac DeVille, $14,500. The 1961 Cadillac DeVille represents peak elegance, massive, commanding, and refined. Nicknamed the Tuxedo Edition, it's a rolling piece of sculpture with bold fins and endless chrome. Under the hood, a 390 V8 provided smooth, effortless cruising. This was luxury before luxury became electronic. Everything was mechanical, from the window motors to the steering assist. Owning one today means caring for detail. Chrome polish, upholstery maintenance, and regular lubrication of the suspension joints. Few cars carry the same aura. When a DeVille rolls by, time slows down. It's not about speed, it's about grace. 9. 1967 Ford LTD, $12,900. The Ford LTD is one of those underrated classics that quietly impress. Stored most of its life in a climate-controlled garage, this car embodies the word preserved. With its 390 V8, power steering, and power brakes, the LTD was Ford's answer to quiet luxury. It's perfect for long-distance travel, steady, silent, and dignified. Fun fact, LTD wasn't officially an acronym, but many owners joked it stood for luxury, trim, and distinction. When you drive one down Route 66, you don't rush, you cruise, you wave, and you remember what real comfort feels like. 10. 1963 Buick LeSabre, $12,500. We end with the Buick LeSabre, a full-size cruiser that blended reliability with understated power. Its V8, the legendary Nailhead, produced around 410 horsepower, known for smooth torque and a distinctive growl. Buicks of the early 1960s were built with craftsmanship often overlooked today. The interior materials were durable, the engines nearly indestructible, and the ride quality unmatched. Compared to its GM cousin, the Impala, the LeSabre offered a quieter, more composed experience. It's the car for someone who appreciates vintage refinement over flash. As with all old Buicks, watch for oil pressure and keep the cooling system clean. These engines love fresh fluids and steady running. And there you have it. 10 incredible classics from the 1960s that prove timeless design doesn't have to cost a fortune. Each one tells a story
of an era when cars weren't just transportation, but a reflection of identity, craftsmanship, and culture. Restoring or maintaining one of these machines isn't about investment. It's about preserving emotion, engineering, and history on wheels. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about the cars that shaped the world. Thanks for watching, and remember, classics never die. They just keep cruising into new generations.